This is exactly how I figure out if grading a sports card makes sense. The decision to grade a sports card is more than just the condition of that card. This is the process I use to figure out if grading makes sense. And again, I'm talking about the business of sports cards or buying and selling. If you're grading for your own personal collection, all this goes out the window. But if you're trying to make money when grading sports cards, then listen up. My goal when grading sports cards is to have my worst case scenario be as close to break even as possible. And this is what I mean. So I bought this Joe Namath downtown on COMC for $124. This is a while back, so comps may be different than what you're seeing now. But when I bought this card, the 90-day average of a PSA 9 was $168. A PSA 8 was $140 average, and a PSA 10 was $228. And the last PSA 10 that sold was $275. So again, I bought this card on COMC. It looked to be in pretty good shape. It cost $24 to grade with PSA through COMC. That means I'd be into that card $148. Based on this, the worst case scenario I'd say is PSA 8, which was selling for around $140. If I got a PSA 9, I'd be out. I'd probably break even with fees and stuff. But there's upside with the PSA 10. So where is the risk? It gets a PSA 7? I doubt it. Or the market changes drastically. This is Joe Namath. He's retired, legend. The market shouldn't change nearly as much as that of a current player. So I ended up sending this to PSA through COMC, as I mentioned, and it came back a PSA 9. I then sent the card to eBay auction through COMC again. Again, at this point, I'm not touching the card. I've never touched the card. And at auction, it sold for $224. So it outperformed what a PSA 9 had been selling for by a lot. So what was my profit with this? I bought the card for $124. I paid $24 to get it graded, so I'm in $148. The COMC auction fee is 3.5% off that $224, which is just under $8, which means I got $216 in my account. Now, with COMC, if I want to take out that $216, I have to pay another 10% cash out fee. So 10% of $216.12 is $21.62, which brings my profit down to $194.50. Subtract out the $148 from the $194.50, and I'm left with $46.50 in profit. Now, I know people are thinking, okay, that seems like a lot of work for $46.50. It only seems like a lot of work because I'm explaining every single step here. Put yourself in the position of finding a card on COMC, clicking to buy it, doing a little bit of research, as I just showed, clicking to send it to get graded, clicking again to send it to auction once it's been graded, and that's it. I never touched the card in this whole thing. I never had to ship it out anywhere. Just looking at the fees, had that graded at PSA 10 and sold closer to the $275 of the last sale, let's say $260, I would have had about $77 profit. And if it came back worst case scenario, I would have lost about $26. That to me feels like a decision with very little risk and a lot of upside. For that reason, I don't grade a ton of cards because I'm picky. And I know people make a lot more money grading cards than I do. It's not my specialty, but if you're just getting started, that's the way I would approach it.